I am so glad to have you here today. We are going to be canning oxtails, okay? I don't have a lot of them, but I wanted to show you how you could can them. I'm actually making a stew of mine, so it will be oxtail soup that we are making today. So if you're wondering what you should have to start you off, definitely your oxtails, or you can use beef. You're gonna do this just as if you were doing regular beef, okay? Using pint-sized jars today, and I'm about to get into chopping up my vegetables. The vegetables I am using today, and you use whatever you eat, but I'm using carrots, celery, potatoes, onions. Those are my vegetables that I'm using. You can use corn if you want to, if you don't want to use any of those other items. And of course, we have the oxtails. I believe it's a 5-pound bag, but you guys, bones, they weigh that in there too. So you're probably not going to get a lot of meat from it. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be searing the oxtail in my pan just to brown it on the outside, and that's also going to help that meat keep the color once you start pressure canning it in your canner. I'm using a Presto canner with the dowel and regulator on it. And get prepped up to get this meat into the pot. I just got through washing it, and all I did was soak it in water and lemon juice, washed it really well. Now I'm about to put about 2 tablespoons of olive oil in my pan and get it browned up. So these look like they don't have a lot of meat on them, and you're not canning your oxtails with the bone in, which I love the bone. The bone has all that nice flavor.
Them bones, them bones, them.
Let me pick this one up. But everything else is nice and fresh. So I'm pulling out these oxtails. I need to put them over here on the cutting board because I got to get this meat off of them, and then I'm going to save my bones. Okay?
The meat is not fully cooked, so it is taking a little bit longer for me to get it done. I probably could have left them in there a little bit longer, but I just decided not to. So I'm not going to make you sit through this whole part. We're going to jump right on over to the next step.
Okay, so I have everything ready to go in. I'm going to start with my meat first, and then I'm going to layer it, and I'm going to add my seasonings. So again, you are going to save your bones. This took so long to do, this part right here, but save your bones to make you some beef broth with. I'm going to put mine in the freezer later. So we want to start, and you don't have to use this, but I'm going to use my funnel. I don't need my debubbler. So I'm going to start with the meat itself.
So basically all you're going to do is just layer it into your jars. I'm adding the meat, then I'll add the celery, the carrots, the onions. Now again, if you don't want to use these vegetables, you can use any vegetables that you choose to use. And I'm also using potatoes.
So I forgot to tell you, this is optional. I'm using crushed tomatoes. You could use tomato paste. If you don't want to use any tomatoes at all, you don't have to do it either. I'm gonna do, well, we're gonna see. I'm probably gonna do about 1 to 2 tablespoons, it depends. And the rest of this, I will just back it up and throw it in the freezer. Now I'm gonna do a ½ teaspoon of kosher salt, turmeric, and garlic powder when I'm taking it off the shelf to cook, I'll just, and isn't that pretty? That is so pretty, you guys. I'll just, you know, add my peppers and whatever else I want to add to it. My broth is right here in this pot. What to do is fill this to 1-inch head space, and that would be to that rim right there. I do a little bit over because it's gonna go down once I debubble. So basically you're gonna can this just like you're canning beef stew. Oxtail is beef, so.
So now it is time to debubble, and you want to get any air pockets that's in this jar out. So just use, if you don't have this debubbler, you can always use a skewer, or some people actually use a knife. I don't suggest using a metal knife, maybe a plastic knife or something like that, but as long as you get the air pockets out, you're good to go. And sorry I'm having to do this voiceover, but my child was playing music. After debubbling, you usually have to add a little bit of liquid to it to bring it back up to the 1-inch head space. But y'all, I have a little bit too much onions in there, so I'm about to take a few of those out. And then I'll probably add a little bit more liquid to it. After you debubble, you can now use your paper towel with your distilled vinegar on it. Make sure you squeeze the excess vinegar off of it and wipe your rim and your ridges to make sure you have the seal that you need in your canning process. You don't want to leave any liquid or food around the top of your jar.
Now it's time to put our lids on. So, okay, even though cold now, I let everything sit and come down. So now we're going to add our rings fingertip tight. So you guys, it is late. It is 12:47 and look at my pints. I just wish that I had gotten 2 5-pound bags of oxtails, but y'all, oxtails have gone up in price. That used to be a cheap meal that my mom would make. Not anymore. Not anymore. Everybody knows about it and everybody wanna, oh, it's a delicacy. Oh, it wasn't a delicacy when we was broken doing it. You know, get laughed at for eating stuff like that. But anyway, it's good eating. So we're about to get these canned up. These are pints. I am going to can these for approximately 75 minutes, okay? 75 minutes. I have a lot of different things in here, but out of everything that's in here, from the onions, the carrots, and the celery, the meat is the one that takes the longest time to cook, and you have to go by the one that takes the longest time to cook. That is the time you go by. That's why for pints, I'm doing 75 minutes. If you're doing quarts, then you would do 90 minutes. And when I say it's 12:52, I don't mean PM, okay, y'all? I mean in the morning. In the morning, okay? In the morning. All right, so down here in my pot, you see I have I think you can see that? I have them in here. And with the water, I'm gonna have to take some water out. You only want 2 inches of water in here. And being this late, I'm not paying attention. You don't want to cover your jars at all. And mine is not covering it, but I also don't want water up to here on it. Your water should be right down there. So all you're gonna do, and I'm gonna put vinegar in here, the leftover vinegar, I'll put in here so hopefully my jars won't look crazy. You're just gonna scoop this water right on out till you get it down to where you need it to be. It rises up when you put your jars in, but it should not be over the half mark of your jar. If you grease your rubber gasket and the top of your canner, and it should do this. without any kind of issues, okay? So everything's cold that's in there. The water's cold, not like super cold, but room temperature. Everything's room temperature. So what I'm gonna do now is turn my eye up on high, and we are going to get our pressure canner to start steaming at a consistent, I'm trying to see that, it's at a consistent steam coming out of that vent pipe. And back here you can see that the nipple is poking up. That means it has already built up pressure. So what we're going to do now is time it for 10 minutes. It goes off, then we'll come back and we will add our pressure regulator to it, or if you're using a canner that has weights, you would add whatever that weight is to yours. So our 10 minutes is up, and what we're going to do is add, well, I turned my timer off first, and then we're gonna throw that on there. That's my regulator. That's gonna help that pressure start climbing. As you can see, it's already starting to climb. Okay, so as you can see, we are where we need to be on my dial. So now I'm going to just adjust my fire. See, my fire is up like this. Now I'm just adjusting it and bringing it down. I kind of know where it's gonna need to be, but you still have to tweak it back and forth to try to maintain your levels, and it'll slowly go back down to the 11. Right now it's about on 13. I'm going to set my timer. Okay guys, so the timer just went off. The 75 minutes is done. I have turned the fire off from my canner, and it just has to go down to 0. And once it does that and the nipple goes completely down, I'll let it sit for 10 minutes, and then I will take the oxtail stew, oxtail soup, whatever you want to call it, out of the canner, and we will be done. Okay, so we are ready to take them out of the canner, you guys. I was in here cleaning up my kitchen. I still have a little bit more to go though. It is on 0. The nipple is down. You ain't got to even take that off if you don't want to, but you can. It does absolutely nothing. See? Let's see what they look like. Excuse the noise. It is the dishwasher. So when you open this up, I don't have my gloves because I'm washing them. It's not super hot. Just make sure you open it away from you. You don't want the steam to come into your face. So take it out that way, just like that. I can't tell as of yet if there was any liquid coming out of the jars itself, which won't change anything. So let me take them out and let's see where we are. Okay, you guys, so I took all 8 of them out, and this at the bottom, you get that from the potatoes, but let's get a close-up. You can see it's still cooking on the inside of it. So what we're going to do, because it is extremely hot, we are going to leave them here over. Oh wow, they are pinging, and I love the sound of that. That just means that you have a good seal on it. And in the pot, in the canner, it seemed to be a little bit of ciphering, but not a lot. I didn't lose anything, so hopefully they all will seal up and keep pinging 6 more times, because I heard 2 pings so far. And tomorrow I will get them cleaned up with soapy water, rinsed off, wiped and dried down. The rings will come off, which means these will come off because you don't want to store them with the rings still on. And then I will label them. But y'all, I'm very pleased with how they came out.
My first time canning oxtail soup. All right. That is what you want to hear. You want to hear that sound. So I really do hope you guys will do this recipe. Let me know in the comments what you think and if you're going to try it yourself, if you even eat oxtails, you guys. I absolutely love it. Once I do fix me some, and the reason why I did them in pints is because I am the only one that eat it. This one jar will do me a meal, and I can either just eat it like it is as a soup, or I can add gravy to it. And I didn't add but 1 tablespoon of that crushed tomatoes because I didn't want them as red as my beef stew is, because I will be adding gravy to it once I do pull them off the shelf to eat. And yeah, y'all, the best part of oxtails though is the bone. Unfortunately, I'm not canning the bone, I'm just canning the meat itself. So y'all have a blessed day, and I'll see you in the next video.